What's going on, folks? It's yours truly, Mr. Colion Noir. I'm joining you live from Dallas, Texas for the first Noir end-of-season look back. Now, when I started Noir, I wanted to create a show that transcended mainstream America's view of the gun community. I wanted Noir to be a gateway program for the gun curious, the antagonists, the anti-gunners, the cultural voice of the gun community, all the while creating beautiful and thought-provoking content of all the seasons. I have to be honest and say season 6, to me, has come the closest to achieving those goals. And I have no shame in saying I'm incredibly proud of this season. And because of this, I wanted to take a look back at season 6 and bring back some of the people who helped make season 6 what it was. I also wanted to hear from you guys and interact with you all live as we travel down this road of tactical nostalgia we call Noir Season 6 Look Back. So share your comments and questions using the hashtag Noir Season 6 so I can answer some of those questions live here on Season 6 Noir Look Back. So this year, one of the most talked about segments of Season 6 by far had to be the 7 types of gun owners at the gun range. And I honestly could not have pulled this off and done it the way we did and executed it the way we did without the help of my good friend Darren Lasort. Let's take a look.
So Darren, what are you doing right now?
Come back.
Oh, just being a cool dude at the range. You know, the guys who spend time not really knowing what they're talking about, but talking a lot, especially the people who are shooting around them. Just being that guy. Guy is worried more about my appearance than I am about my shooting. So I'm doing this for Noir Season 6. So Colion, this is a poser. So you gave me the poser role. So I'm supposed to be the badass shooter who's not so badass, who's offering lots of advice and not shooting so well.
This is the part where I say, oh, it must be incredibly natural for you to be this person because you are this person all the time.
It is me, right?
No, I mean, is it not?
I actually offer lots of good advice, I think, on the range. I have my moments being good.
The one thing about going to a gun range is kind of like a bazaar of people because there isn't, as the other side likes to make people think, only one type of person when it comes to firearms. There are so many different personalities of different people coming into the place that over time, I started picking up on a different personality. Now, these aren't all of them. It's only 7. And to be honest with you, I could probably do a 6 or 8 part series just on this topic alone. But these are the first and main ones that stood out to me in my mind the most. And the beautiful thing is we get to see a sort of dress. Dude, get away from me, man.
Stranger, what are you doing? I mean, no, your butt's gotten so nice since all this boxing stuff you're doing. It's been amazing. I've been seeing you on the show.
God, you're such an ugly ass woman.
What, me? Why would you say that to me?
Oh, come.
I mean, I've always had a confidence issue until I started watching your show. And then I realized that, no, it's the beauty within that matters.
No, dude, you're ugly as hell as a woman. God,
why would you say something so hard?
Because you are. Because you are. You look.
Just because I forgot my lipstick today.
You look horrid.
What? But my makeup.
You just look horrid. I mean, you were an ugly guy, so it's just kind of.
Hard, that hurts me.
What hurts you?
That hurts me.
That you're an ugly woman?
Say that, yes, because I respect you.
But you're an ugly woman.
I can't believe this is happening to me right now.
Oh man, oh God, I'm just glad to have you here in your true form, in male form. I gotta be honest with you, man, you're dropping stuff all over the floor.
I know.
I mean,
that's
what are you doing?
That's how that stuff goes. It's live television.
Like you take off the dress and you just start just messing up all over the place.
This live television. I mean, I fumbled. I fumbled the opener. It was like the opening kickoff return and just didn't get it done.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't return kickoffs in high school.
Hey, look, I'll say as much. You truly, really, honestly freaked me out in that dress. It was weird. I think it's largely because I know you.
Right.
So seeing you in the dress, it just did something. My head and then really, honestly, no, you're just really ugly.
Well, you don't. What's funny is you don't recognize the fact that I wasn't even in a dress because you were so shocked by the fact that I was wearing whatever I was wearing. I don't even think I was in makeup, but the long hair just got you. And I think the size D.
Wait a minute.
Bra that I was wearing.
You know what's crazy?
I was wearing black pants.
You're actually right. You weren't wearing a dress.
Yeah, not.
Holy shit.
So
I thought you were wearing a dress the whole time.
No, but
oh, wow.
you know, so I got to get this out of the way real quickly. Is you know what? Season 6, even though I wasn't a huge part of this. There I am. There I am. Okay.
It's just such an incredible level of ugliness. It just baffles me.
Yeah. It was ugly. I have to admit, I'm just not a good-looking woman. That's why I try to stay out of those clothes as much as I can.
Now, I will say this: you did kill it.
Well, thanks.
I was thoroughly impressed with all the characters you did. So talk to the people about what did you do to get in the mindset to act all those characters up?
So, Tyler, who is our big chief behind the scenes, he always has so much energy. He would actually get in front of me, each character, tell me who I was going to be, motivate me, psych me up, and basically do the rah-rah. So, you know what? I became that person, whoever it is. Like Mr. Social Media, obviously I'm not that in life, so it's kind of hard to be Mr. Social Media.
Okay.
But I was able to play it up. I asked you a few questions of what I might be doing in that situation. Like, if I were Mr. Social Media at the range, what would I be doing? You'd be like, you're taking pictures, you're using a selfie stick. And so, that was maybe the toughest one for me. The other ones, I knew real well because I've been at the range.
So now my question goes, which one of those personalities was you? Or if they didn't exist, what would that personality be?
So the one that I am, I have to admit, is the I'm going to shoot it guy. I want to shoot it guy. I'm going to stop at your bay and shoot whatever you have and shoot all of your ammo at the same time.
You're that guy.
So I was definitely that guy. And I still am. And what's embarrassing is that you're really taking advantage of a person because they're not going to say no. If you ask to shoot another magazine or shoot the rest of their ammo, they're not going to say no. They're not going to want to.
And you know what's funny about that? I'm the one with the gun. And yet I'm the one that feels like he can't say no.
That is true. That is true. I mean, so you created all of that, and it was amazing because it was so good, and I think that's why it's being viewed by so many people. Is it hits every single point in my mind. I'm guessing you might have missed one or two.
To be honest with you, I honestly could probably do a 3-part series of more personalities. Those were just literally the ones that came to my mind first, and there may or may not be in season 7 another part to the 7 types of people at the gun range. I don't know.
I think it's going to be, you're going to have to do it because you're creative enough to do it. Like, I just don't have that creativity.
Shit, give me enough whiskey, I can create anything.
But hey, so the shooting fast guy, that was fun, but I've never had a paralyzed trigger finger like that when we were filming that.
I just had to do it over and over again.
I did, and at the end of it, I really got to the point where my fingers stopped working the way it should have been working, and it was like my worst nightmare, when you have nightmares and things aren't working in a self-defense scenario. My trigger finger literally was not working. I believe that I resorted to pulling the trigger with my middle finger, which was real strange.
But if you think about it, if a trigger is what, 4 to 5 pounds, you mean you're pulling 5 pounds over and over. Now I don't know if that actually translates the same way, but nonetheless, the fatigue
that
is still
a
the
great
same.
point. It's actually like reps in the gym. Obviously, at some point you're going to fatigue and not be able to do that next pull-up. I don't know. I don't experience that. I'm sure you do.
Yeah. Well, we got a couple of questions here.
Okay.
All right. Let's see.
I'm not going to drop the mic again. I'm not going to drop
I really honestly don't want to ask this question. So I don't have a name, but person goes, can I buy LaSort's wig?
Believe it or not, I did keep that wig, so there's a chance that it could be purchased as long as I receive the proceeds or a charity of our choice.
Can we cut the close on me? Can I get closer out? Thank you. All right, I'm just gonna put this out there here now. If I find that wig on eBay and it actually does sell, I'm done with Noir. I'm just done. I'm just gonna call it quits.
Oh,
that is just
classic.
Above and beyond anything that I can deal with at this point in life.
I love that. I hadn't thought about that. I think I still have the entire outfit. I went shopping at Target for that one. So you know what? We try to be very thrifty around here, and I still have everything, I believe. I might have borrowed the shoes. Size 11s in women, I just found out.
All right, let's see. Well, look, I'm taking another question here. Good gosh. It's not a question, it's a comment. Somebody goes, give me more wifey in season 7.
I can't even talk about it, but so when we had Amy and Katie on earlier on in the previous seasons, somebody wrote a comment about the fact that we have everything in the show. The only thing that's missing is me with some bolt-ons. If you know what I'm talking about, some bolt-ons.
Chill.
And so whatever that person got what he wanted ultimately, and wifey, and I think that he's probably right in that comment about more than 7.
Oh man! So, see now this next and last comment that I'm going to address here is right up my alley. I could have gone my whole life without seeing LaSort and drag. Thank you, Robert. You and I are spirit animals in that regard.
Hey, I mean, what made that so fun, I mean, that was a lot of work to put that together. We actually had to do it an extra day. But what was so great is the fact that we could not stop laughing. I mean, I think it took 25 takes. 25 takes. And I mean, and the guys who were working behind the cameras wanted to go home, and they were telling us to get serious, and it only made us laugh harder. You could not look at me. You could not.
I really couldn't,
laugh.
because it was too freaky, man.
And then every time I heard you laugh, I laughed. And that was, of all the favorite times in noir, all the great moments, especially in the early seasons, that was my favorite lapsed.
I had a damn good time doing that, and I think you did a damn good job with that. you took. I didn't like when I was writing the script for this segment. I didn't really know how it would translate with you doing it, right?
Right.
To be honest, it wasn't even my idea to have LaSort doing it. It was Tyler's.
Did you think I was busy or something?
No, I'm just so used to doing the Eddie Murphy thing where I play all the roles. That it didn't. I figured I'd just be the one playing the role.
Fair enough.
But then when Tyler said, "Hey, I think we're gonna get Darren to do this," I was like. Okay.
I remember the only thing he asked me, he wasn't like, do you have time? Do you want to make this happen, etc. He's just like, hey, are you okay with wearing a dress? That's when I was supposed to wear a dress, and I guess we deviated away from that. But I was like, yeah, I'll wear a dress for Colion Noir, anything.
Yeah, because I wasn't going to wear a dress. Somebody's talking to me. I can't hear what he's saying.
Well, all right.
All right. So I think we have a viewer video.
Yes.
No, I don't think. I know because they just told me this.
Let's do it.
So, cut to the viewer video.
So it seems Colion Noir wants feedback about season 6 of his NRA series, and I gotta say, challenge accepted. Anyway, if you missed out on the 7 personality types of the gun range, you missed everything, because Colion, that piece was winning the internet. That was my absolute favorite. Besides, everybody needs to just admit which one of us does not have a little bit of cool guy in us.
Well, I gotta say I agree with everything she said.
Yeah, I mean, what's just nice is the people out there who are watching the show and enjoying it the way they should. I mean, I tell you about some of the people who we see in airports or whatever. It's just neat that we're reaching the people we always wanted to reach from the start.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I have to say, so what I was after I fumbled at the opening kickoff there, what I wanted to say about season 6 and just get this across to you is how proud I am of you and the people who work on the show. Obviously, I'm not too involved unless I'm in drag, but the quality of the show is phenomenal, man.
Thanks,
the production quality, the interviews, everything about it, it's enthralling, and I can't say how proud I am of you and the people involved.
Well, appreciate it,
Awesome,
man.
brother.
Always happy to have you on the show. I'm always looking to exploit your free labor. But LaSort wasn't the only one trying something new this year. Dom Rosso, another good friend of mine, joined Noir with his showcase. Let's take a look at how Dom explained this segment.
My mission in life is to set a new standard by educating, training, and equipping my fellow warriors and citizens to become assets to themselves, their families, and this country. If somebody comes in an environment with a gun already drawn, saying not to move, I don't want to be the guy that attracts the attention to me. Clearly, if you take it for what it is, he's got a barrel sticking out of his jacket. I am immediately closing the distance with him and crashing the gap to get control of that thing. My entire life, there's always been one thing that I've forged to give me my edge. Mindset. Waking up every morning determined to improve the way I think to make this day better than yesterday. I do it because I understand reality intimately. I know what it feels like to be in a gunfight, and I certainly know what it's like to fight through it all. I can help you guys. Having embraced the reality we live in and the threats we all face, I refuse to let them come into my life and not be prepared. This mindset has led me on a path to become a self-protection expert, and I'm excited to share some of my knowledge with you guys. On this season of Noir, I'll be showcasing some of the best in self-defense. I'll explain scenarios like being in a potential attack next to your car or a gunman holding up a convenience store. I'll break down every detail of what I do in that scenario, and I'll be showing my techniques in super slow motion. Over the next few months, NRATV will be releasing a constant stream of interviews, scenarios, and techniques in slow motion, and you guys won't have to wait for them. It will be ready and on demand on NRATV.com. and social media. All right, so we're talking about one-handed manipulation. I'm pumped for you guys to see a new perspective of mindset, education, and training, all in action, wrapped up into a badass way of viewing them. Get ready, guys, because this is going to be a whole new way for you to engage and become an asset.
That is my good friend, Mr. Dom Rosso, and he joins us live from Skype. What's going on, man?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Doing pretty good, doing pretty good. It's been, when was the last time I seen you?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
So happy. And season 6, you know, of course, tonight, way to make me relive the whole Darren experience. That was awesome.
I'm pretty sure it freaked you out as much as it freaked me out, so I apologize. I don't know what to tell you, man.
We had to get started.
I mean, but then again, you got to give it to the guy. I mean, he did dress and drag for the show, so I guess I have to give him that. Yep. But I will say I'm really glad that you've become a part of Noir as well, especially with the showcase segment that you did this season. I thought it was phenomenal. I thought the cinematography was excellent. I thought the breakdowns were amazing. And I just can't say more about how much I love these segments. So for those who are kind of new to this and the people who watch it this season and people who are familiar with the Noir seasons and saw this for the first time, what was your motivation behind each of the scenarios that you presented in those segments?
Well, we always talk about connection to reality. So when you look at the series, it's all about getting as close to reality, understanding reality. You know, one of the great things that I enjoyed about the whole season, working with the team, everybody crushed it. But when we did the slow motion breakdown, I mean, I tell you all the time, use your video, use your phone, use Coach's Eye, break your techniques down. So I found myself using the camera as a training tool as we were filming. So I'm like, wait a minute, play that back. Not to make sure it was good for the camera, but to make sure I was doing it correctly. So each one of these scenarios were common things that we've not only seen again and again, but there's data and statistics out there that say, hey, these are the most common scenarios. And that was just an opportunity for us to break that down and really pick out the details to bring to the table to people to say, look, there's a lot more going on than meets the eye. If you train, you know that. If you don't, then you don't know what you don't know. So this was a really, really cool way to break down really concise details to let people know, you know, what they're missing and what they need to work on.
Absolutely, absolutely. One thing about, especially the super slow-mo stuff, you're a better man than me because those things expose every single flaw, if they exist, from technique to movement, all of those things, right? So, like, for people who are not on camera like that, how do you mentally deal with stuff like that? Because I know how I deal with just kind of assessing myself when I'm on camera and seeing myself over and over again. Is that something that you're cognizant of, or is it's not even an issue for you?
Well, look, even right there, I mean, they're showing it right now as far as shooting for my 6, you know, where my finger was exactly in the trigger well. When I put my finger on the trigger, you know, I think I saw a couple of comments like, oh, your finger was on the trigger, but is my muzzle clear of my body? Is my muzzle clear of potential bystanders, right? All these little details come into play. And we all know a professional is a master at the basics. So when you get thousands and thousands of repetitions in, this slow-mo video, you know, I go through visualization, like, okay, I'm gonna shoot to my rear, I'm gonna draw and shoot to my rear. So I'm already visualizing this stuff happening, and then as I get to watch the feedback real time, you get to see every detail of what you're doing. And really, that's how you get better, is watching yourself, having somebody that knows what they're looking for, watch you, and help each other out. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's thousands and thousands of repetitions that I just take this stuff very seriously. This is my life. You know, self-defense expert, trying to be the best in our field, bring forth the best knowledge in the industry because people's lives depend on it, you know, and we know that every time we step into training, every time we talk on camera, every time we do something like this, we're teaching people that are watching how to make themselves better and then prepare for something that hopefully never happens. But if it does, they've got the right mindset to go into it.
Absolutely. I want to ask you one quick question. So for the people who did watch this, what did you want them to take away? What did you want the audience to take away from each of these segments?
Well, we always talk about context and mindset. You know, understanding and watching something like that for the first time and really seeing the detail that goes into it, hopefully that humbles a couple people to realize, like, man, I need to think about this a little bit more than I thought I did.
Yeah.
Because a lot of what we see in the industry, even from our culture that we try to strengthen, is superficial. So if it's superficial and you think you have enough knowledge, this is kind of one tool to look inside from my head, from everybody that was involved, and say, look, we're going to show you just a little bit more into what we're thinking and how it's applied. So the number one takeaway is always going to be mindset. If I was able to give somebody a look into what we had going on, make them change their perspective, and put a little bit of motivation into what they do, and a little bit more energy into the right gear, the right equipment, and the right training, that's the biggest takeaway.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I really appreciate it, man, and I hope you continue to be a part of this. It may branch out, become even bigger than Warrior. I don't know, but either way, I'm going to enjoy watching it. One of the beautiful things about it as well is because since I'm not filming it with you, I get to watch it like a viewer watches it. And I kind of lose that with, me filming the actual show. So that's kind of a little treat for me, is being able to sit back, and then when I watch the final episode, okay, there's one component of it that I know nothing about until I see it. And I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. All of season 6 has been amazing. I mean, just the whole evolution, but strengthening and communicating, engaging with what our culture's been up to, what you've been up to, what we're up to. I think we're starting to really peel back the layers of, like, what is this community about? It's much bigger and much more involved, and a lot more intriguing than I think people realize. And I think we really captured that. So you crushed it. It's teamwork. Tyler was amazing at helping run that program. So everybody just brought great stuff to the table, and this whole season's been awesome.
Speaking of Tyler's I was gonna let you go, but now I'm gonna make you stay a little bit longer. I know you got to go off and crush some stuff, like you're crushing this interview right now. But I'm gonna keep you around for a little bit longer if you don't mind, because I'm gonna have Tyler join us. But first, I'm gonna take a couple of questions from some of the viewers. Feel free to jump in too if you want to answer them.
Absolutely.
Well, considering they apply to you. So I have a question here from Charlie. What was the hardest part of the challenge? Staying awake. There was one aspect of the challenge. I think we were the third day in, I believe, and we've been shooting all day, and we went back to this little house area for us to rest up. I don't know if we have a picture of this or not, but I ended up falling asleep, and Alex Zedra and the rest of the guys in the gang ended up taking a picture of me while I was asleep. I threatened all of them with their lives if they would ever release that picture. But long story short, it was just the fatigue. We were out there for so long. At certain parts, it was incredibly hot, and we're filming into the night. It was just a lot. So the most challenging aspect of it was just staying mentally sharp and then maintaining energy. So there's that. All right, let's see what we got here. What was your favorite topic gun guest of the season? All right, way to squeeze in extra questions. All right, favorite topic. Favorite topic, honestly, was the, it's gonna be a little redundant because it's also my favorite segment, but the most intimidating guns. I actually did that completely and entirely off the top of my head, and I meant every word of it. I mean, I knew the guns going in, but I kind of just really spoke from my experience, and a lot of what that applied to was some of the stuff that how I grew up seeing firearms. If you don't know what I'm talking about, stay tuned. You'll see it later on in the show. Favorite gun to shoot. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think the favorite gun I shot was the Stoner 6.3 and the M60. I'm kind of battling back and forth between those two guns. Those two guns definitely left an impression with me. Favorite guest of the season. I really enjoyed Buck. I really enjoyed having Buck on the show. He was really interesting to talk to. I love being out there, especially out in Utah. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful place. So I'd have to give that to Doug. To Buck, not Duck. I don't know why I call him Duck. Now I'm gonna get a phone call and a text message from them. I'm like, who the hell is Duck? All right, so we aren't quite done with Dom yet, of course. More of your questions for Dom will be coming up in just a moment. But first, Dom has looked behind the scenes of his shoots.
All right, guys, so we're in a makeshift convenience store. We're replicating a realistic scenario as much as we can. We've got role players, we have a guy playing a clerk, we have bad guys coming in here, my arm's down, we're dealing with a malfunction, I'm doing a one-handed draw manipulation. We're in this makeshift store. Obviously, things aren't always what they seem. As you can see, we have Grand Flakes, delicious by the way. If you go behind here, you can clearly see that it's all made up and these guys put a lot of work into making sure this looks legit. But this doesn't have to be a sling, it could be a cast, it could be the fact that I got shot, or this is out of play, or I'm carrying a baby with me. We're trying to make the environment as bad as we can with what we're given. That way we have as much problem solving as we can get out of it. So for me, I'm actually getting good reps in, even though we want to bring some education to you guys.
We're setting up here our Phantom 4K Flex. It's a camera that can shoot over 1,000 frames per second. All of this is to capture moments of Dom doing these insane physical actions, but the camera can capture this at 1,000 frames per second. So we're able to get this really nice, elegant.
Everything that we're doing, even working with you guys in a slow motion environment, helps me see things in such detail that wouldn't have really existed before.
Right.
And just having that capability is a game changer.
What this camera allows us to do is it gives us the ability to put the viewer in an intimate position and something happening at a really high rate of speed, and then looking back at it like in an analysis type way.
Huge slow-mo coaching, baby.
As a convenience store worker, if I actually had a gun present, the guy came in on me with a gun, I mean, how would I get to my gun? That was pretty fast. Even if I did have a weapon, I'm already here, so I'm like, you know, what do you do?
If I have a gun already drawn on me at arm's length distance, I'm not gonna draw my gun. Even if I have a gun and he's this close to me, there's no reason for me to pull my gun because I'm already behind the power curve. I'm gonna be trying to get hands length distance because I can just take it away from him. We all know that the pointy end of the barrel puts out bad right? Like we know bad things come out of that. So a lot of people would try to get that away from them instinctively. It's just kind of what you do after that. People kind of freeze up. They're like, where do I go now? You know?
That's intense.
I get fired up and talk about this all night.
So here's a rarity. Me and Tyler on the same screen.
Yeah, this is. I like the other side a lot better.
Yeah, Tyler doesn't like being in front of the camera
Not
at all, which is interesting, but he does a phenomenal job behind the camera and behind the editing as well.
Yes, the shooting competition, that was...
Yes, this is the mastermind behind the shooting competition. Yeah. That would be Tyler. Yeah. Tyler. Now, for those of you who don't know who Tyler is and you're like, who's this random white guy on the set with Colion Noir? Tyler is actually, you made a couple appearances on my social media.
Yeah?
Yeah. I remember most memorable would be, where were we, in Massachusetts? Was it, no, where was it? Where we did the...
Connecticut?
Connecticut, I think it was Connecticut. Yeah, we're over there by, where was it, Harvard?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of these slow-mo shots because Dom killed it, but then again, and they seem overly simplistic. But what really goes into actually filming something like this? Because I'm sure there's more involved in.
As you can see, like in the shot right here, like you have this motorized track, right? Mm-hmm. And we're out in the middle of a field, and so it's not level. So just to get the track up and running and operational is a time conducive. Like it takes a lot of time to do that, and you got to level it. And then not only do you have the motorized track that you're having to deal with, you have the phantom camera, which is kind of it's the thing that makes it all like work. It's shooting 1,000 frames per second. So in context, what that means, in 1 second, the camera is shooting 1,000 frames. So one of these moves that Dom does, it's like about 7 seconds, right?
Yeah.
7 seconds at 1,000 frames ends up being about 4 to 5 minutes of footage. 7 seconds stretched out to 5 minutes. And when we would shoot with Dom, we would try to do about 2 slow motions a day. It took a whole day to film 14 seconds worth of content.
That is ridiculous. And I'm used to being on set and filming, and even I think that's just insane.
Yeah.
How much is involved in something. I mean, it comes out, it looks phenomenal.
But that's the payoff is like you see what we get, and it's you get Dom doing Dom, and it's
like I got a little jealous honestly because I was like, I want to do slow mo, and then when I saw my slow mos, I was like, I don't look as good as Dom doing that.
We did so. Your five most intimidating guns.
Yeah, okay, you're right. See, I completely forgot about that because that's actually one of my favorite segments.
Yeah.
Was the 5 most intimidating guns, and we used the Phantom camera for that, and that was, I loved it.
I think, Dom is Dom, and Dom's gonna look badass no matter what. The Phantom camera did make you look more badass than I think you really are.
No, I think I actually did look. Oh, look, there's Dom. Yeah, I'm gonna do. Yeah, that was me deflecting.
Dom! Dom!
My man.
It's been a while.
Tyler, one word: passion. I go on set all the time. We do projects like Colion was just saying, staying up all night. But Tyler brings passion. Every time we work together, even if I'm getting a little like, okay, what's the next move? Tyler's right there getting after it. So it's good to see you, buddy.
Man, look. Tyler is one massive ball of energy, even when he's dead tired. I don't understand it. I don't think he's human sometimes. But I will say this: I've fed off of your energy plenty of times on set, even when I'm acting like a prima donna and I'm just like, no, I don't do this anymore. I'm tired of doing slow-mo and B-roll shots. But Tyler definitely, his energy is infectious. So I would have to agree with you on that 100%.
Well, it makes it easy when you got you and you got Dom, who like Collins does the Colin thing, Dom does the Dom thing. When you guys do your thing, it makes my job easier and it makes the crew's job easier.
Little did we know, when we do our thing, helps him do his thing.
Yeah.
Teamwork. So watching the videos, I just kind of relived some of that behind the scenes stuff when we're talking about the setup and how much work goes into what the crew does. And every time I go on set, I look at those guys, I'm like, man, you guys are crushing it. They get there before everybody, they stay later. But people don't realize what goes in behind the scenes. But reliving some of the behind the scenes footage, I always talk about reps and getting good reps in, because every move you make, everything you think about, it's always adding up to what you're going to do in reality. And even though we were training, even though we were doing film work and slow-mo, I was taking opportunities to get reps in. So no matter what, you can ask Tyler, you can even ask him right now, what was I doing? They tell me to do something, I'm like, well, as long as I'm getting good reps in, I'll do the movement.
Yep.
So I just want to know, hold on guys, all right. Who's responsible for the picture of me sleeping? I want to get on a person who was that? No, who took the picture? You were there. Who took the picture, Tyler?
Wasn't me.
Dom.
No, Don would have came back and choked me. But no, so Dom, what did you find the most, as far as the filming process, what was the most challenging aspect of the film process for you when you were shooting those slow-mos? Or actually just shooting the scenarios?
I think the sync up, for me, going through the movements, I train this stuff every day. As soon as I get a break here, I'm going right into the gym. But I think the sync up, so there's a lot of technology going on, like Tyler said, setting the camera up on level ground. So we had to do a few iterations of getting it right and getting the camera to sync up with my movement. So that was a great opportunity for me to get multiple reps in. I'm like, hey, every time they don't get it right, or every time this camera doesn't sync, or I'm off even on timing, it was just one more opportunity to get some more rounds downrange. So that was the biggest challenge. Tyler, we worked as a team, so I think for us that was probably the biggest thing. Other than that, everything else was easy and fun.
I gotta disagree. I think one of the hardest parts for you is, so a lot of the actors that we hired to kind of be your opposite. The hard part for you, I think, is like holding it back and not like kind of really hurting those people.
Look at Dom's face.
That's hard for you.
Control the aggression. Control the aggression.
Basically what Tyler said, the hardest thing for Dom was to not crush people.
Yep. But he does a good job making it look like it, though.
It's an opportunity for controlled aggression, escalation, and de-escalation of force. But, there was a couple scenarios we did where I had to hold back. But it was just good because, like I said, even in that convenience store, that guy walked through the door. I'm thinking about all those things that are going through somebody's head, how everybody's reacting. I even had to tell the bystanders, they've never been in a gun holdup, so I had to tell the role players, hey guys, this is how you're going to act in this type of scenario. I'm going to tell you right now, there's no absolutes. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you're going to respond a certain way, but even watching people and kind of getting them to go, all right, you might jump behind the chip aisle, or you might just freeze up behind the counter and figure out what your next move is. That was a big aspect of it as well, trying to put everything together. But yeah, it was interesting. It was fun. I mean, I had a lot of fun building that series with you, Tyler, and the team. So it was great.
Awesome. So I want to leave with one question. Well, actually, it's just a statement that I'm pretty sure you guys can appreciate. It comes from Charlie, and Charlie goes, "Slow-mo is awesome. Made me check my actions a bit closer." So
that's the whole point.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That was the whole changing the way we think by looking at the details and saying, "What am I missing?" You don't know what you don't know. A professional is a master at the basics, and we try to bring that to the forefront every day, so guys are really thinking about the movements that they make, because we all know that when we need it, and we don't need it till we do.
Absolutely. Actually, there's one question specifically to you, Tyler, actually. It says, Tyler, how did you handle both LaSort and Colion? Watch yourself, Tyler.
Where's Darren? Is he gone? Did he leave?
Tyler's trying to figure out how to filter his response.
Yeah, because I can't say what I would normally say.
Don't say it.
I mean, to be honest, like you guys, you're great to work with. I mean, you guys have a nice rapport. Like, I mean, you guys are professional.
Tyler's full of shit. So basically, what Tyler's trying to say is that we definitely got on his nerves a lot of the times because we were off in our own little world, and as Darren likes to call me, the little butterfly. So Tyler's constantly having to wrangle me in or get me off my phone. I'm pretty sure Darren's off somewhere trying to save the world from something that doesn't need to be saved from. And with everything else that goes on in your mind, I think one of the beautiful things is, from season 1 to where we are now, one of the beautiful things that I'm really appreciative of, especially as far as our relationship, is starting to, understanding the different dynamics that you have to deal with being in a position that you're in, and the dynamics that I have to deal with. And then both of us learning, this is what else is going on in the background. And so we kind of developed this mutual respect for each other in our positions. And I think it just really made for a really great show. Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a big social presence, whatever, but being around you and seeing as much time and energy it takes to kind of, keep up with it, I've developed an appreciation for the work and the stuff that you do kind of behind the scenes, and I think that's one of those things that, over the 4 years that we've been working together, the first year it pissed me off. Like, just get off your phone. Why are you doing that? You need to be focused on this. But I now understand kind of like a little bit of kind of the stuff that you have to deal with, and there's that appreciation.
I mean, and vice versa, because with that being said, it's easy to get consumed with what's going on here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then not realizing, well, no, these guys are out here in the same damn conditions that I'm in too. Probably even worse so, because you're dealing with the cameras, the equipment, and I know I do my own videos as well, so I understand the little small things that always go wrong, the things you have to account for, and it can drive you mad. So I think I really appreciate that experience and just appreciate how we've developed and that mutual respect in that regard.
Yeah. Season 7 coming soon, dude.
Woo! Let's do it. So, Lookback Live is just getting started. We're going to talk to a few special guests from the season. We'll start with the man who loves talking about firearms and suppressors. Here's a look back at my discussion with Kevin Briniam.
Cons, scale of 1 to 10. 1 being boring, 10 being totally awesome. What's that gun?
We're talking about the MP5?
Yeah.
10.
No, he's wrong.
How so? For me, that's a gun that's always been seen as unattainable. Like when I started getting into guns, it was like, damn, like if only I could get an MP5. If only I can get an MP5.
I agree with that.
You've been a lot closer to this gun.
And so spoiled. I mean, I've had one for 20 years. So.
Exactly.
I probably have 1,000 guns, hundreds of machine guns. My kid's favorite gun to shoot. All 3 of them.
This is probably the rarest silencer because the Army bought 100 World War I. There's not a lot of people collect silencers like that. But there's a lot of people that collect 03 Springfields. So it makes these silencers incredibly valuable because the only ones, there's one in the Smithsonian and there's one in the Springfield Armory Museum. Beretta 93R, single action. Yeah, but this folds down, and you're supposed to hold that like that. Shoot here. This is an original Maxim blueprint for a German rifle in July 20th, 1911 is when they finished the drawings. It all had to be hand-drawn, just like it all had to be handmade back then, And even 10 years ago, before we had 3D printing, then I had a full prototype shop in my office at Advanced Armament. It would take a month to prototype a new silencer. Now we can print plastic in-house, or we can have metal 3D printed stuff in 24 hours at the office. We can test anything we want. That's where we're able to develop new silencers in the matter of a couple weeks. We developed the fix, and we're shooting it from the first discussion to shooting it in 6 months. Unheard of 10 years ago.
Kevin Brenningham isn't your average CEO. He's been in the firearms business since he started Advanced Armament Company at the age of 19. He sold that a while back and now owns Q, where his mission is to build the world's best silencers. Kevin knows guns inside and out, historical and modern, and it's in them that he finds his inspiration.
Hi Noir, I really like season 6, especially the night museum visit. I really enjoyed learning more history. Hope you can do that more in season 7. Have you thought about going to Europe and seeing what their gun laws are and contrasting them against our own? Thanks, have a great day.
Where am I looking at?
No,
Camera?
yeah, we're right here. We're live now, actually.
All right.
So, so we have a very special guest that popped into the studio for tonight. You saw him in the season finale episode. Josh Powell is the NRA Chief of Staff. Josh, thanks for joining us, and thank you for stopping by.
It's good to see you. Thanks for
Absolutely. What we were talking about before that everybody just eavesdropped in our conversation. We were talking about the last time I saw you when it was at the NRA Carry Guard.
Carry Guard convention.
Yeah.
In Milwaukee, right?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Before that, it was in South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Yeah. That was a very, that will probably remain in my memory for a very, very long time, and in a very good way.
What part of it did you love so much about it?
It was so outside of my comfort zone but at the same time, it didn't take me long to really start to appreciate the environment. Like I said in the season finale, for me, like if you watch differences in body language between you and Mackers, I'm fidgeting every little sound, anything that moved. Like I'm having strange tricks of vision at night.
But you loved it.
I did. It took me a second. It took me probably about half a day, and then I kind of just came into it and I was like, stop fighting it, right? This is.
Yeah, and you find yourself, coming down into nature and doing what we all love to do. You find that hunter in yourself.
Absolutely.
Start to embrace it.
And one of the things that I really loved about it was learning how to shoot the shotgun with some proficiency, because for the most part, up until we were in South Carolina.
Well, you're a natural athlete. It didn't take too much.
I was embarrassing myself up until that point, though, to be honest
with you. You just needed a little bit of coaching, and you were right after it. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It was super fun to spend time with you and, share all those communications we had around different guns and kind of that. I come from a different world, you come from a different world, but we have this super connection around our love of being outside and firearms and that kind of thing. And I really enjoyed it as well. It was great.
Yeah, no, it was. I will say there was something about it was amazing how it kind of shifted for me when I came in and you kind of gave me a couple of tips in terms of breaking the clays. And it almost forced me to kind of channel a more intuitive way of shooting.
Yeah, look, it's like we talked about. Shooting a pistol and shooting a rifle and a shotgun are completely different things. Shooting a shotgun is much more akin to playing tennis or golf. And I think and you're such a great athlete. As soon as you just need somebody to tell you, hey, just look at the target, and pull the trigger, and trust it. And I think once you got over that, it's a blast, though, right?
Yeah. What was funny was when I was watching some of the footage, I could see some of my more AR-15 mannerisms, right. In the way I was manipulating shotgun, and I was just like, why am I doing that?
So have you been shooting your shotgun since? Come on, don't lie.
Not a ton, only because I've been incredibly busy, but I did go, immediately when I got back, I did go out and do some more shooting.
Yeah, but all this great shooting in Texas, my gosh, there's more ranges around here. You can shoot your brains out.
Like I always tell people all the time, I'm a binge shooter. So what ends up happening is I don't shoot for a long period of time, and then I'll shoot for a ton in a very short period of time, and then it'll go dry again, and then so forth. So basically, I'm like a college shooter.
Right.
Except in college, those kids, they binge drink.
Yeah, you're a complete sandbagger. You're an incredible athlete. I really enjoyed shooting with you down there, though. I learned a lot, particularly around shooting a pistol with you. That's something that I'm getting better and better and better at. But it was really fun, and I love teaching. I love shooting shotgun.
That's another interesting thing too. Is a lot of people overlook is the distinctions in terms of platform. You don't shoot pistols very often. And then I don't shoot shotguns very often. And I think it's beautiful because it's like each platform tends to take on its own lifestyle almost, and its own world in terms of, like, you know, some people are shotgun shooters, some people are handgun shooters, some people are AR-15 shooters, so forth and so on. And I love the ability to just kind of cross-pollinate those two.
Yeah, and for me, I mean, my pistols are all about, you know, it's all about self-defense.
Exactly.
So, and I need to, you know, get out and practice with it a little bit more. But for me, like, that's, you know, I'm gonna have, you know, a gun in my hotel room, I'm gonna have it on my hip. But that's my world of associating to a pistol, and then I like to have my shotgun in my hand all the time. You know, but you know that.
You know, a lot of, I just actually started running a shotgun as part of my home defense setup. I hadn't done that before.
Really?
Yeah, because to be honest with you, Noir has forced me to become more comfortable with the shotgun.
So you run a semi-automatic?
I am running some. Come on, man, it's me.
My fault. My bad.
It's me. You know how I do.
With all the cool stuff on it, you got like lasers and.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But no, I truly enjoyed it. I really appreciate you stopping by.
No, it's
good
great.
to see you again,
It's
man.
great. We're down here for DSC, and you know it's great to see you. And I saw the show today. They released the.
Yeah, so
the
was your
show
first time
we were
seeing
at.
it?
Yeah, I'd never seen any of it.
Well, there you go.
So I really enjoyed it. It was fun.
Awesome. Yeah, the opening shots for me were actually kind of majestic. I was a little jealous because I'm like, oh, I want to do something like that. But it
oh, come
really
on,
was.
Mr. Cole.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean, it really brought back the memories of South Carolina, like in a very good way.
Yeah, it
You
was
know,
a
just
great
being out
trip,
there
and you know, again, I enjoyed it, and I'm so excited for all you guys here. You've had a heck of a season, and
appreciate it.
What a run!
Absolutely.
I mean, it really, like, we're all just so fired up about everything you're doing.
Thanks a lot,
it's
man.
really, really good, man.
Well, we really appreciate
All
you.
right.
Thanks for joining us and taking time out of your busy
You bet.
schedule.
All right,
Absolutely.
take care.
So, now, before we started talking, we did a little video deal with some bald-headed guy. We were shooting some things. We were shooting some silencers and some other weird looking funky things. Oh, there he is, right there. There he goes. What's going on, Kev?
Just being bald.
Just being bald.
What's up with you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. So, now that I've hit you with that very informal introduction,
yes.
What do you got? What do you got brewing, man? Because I know you're always up to something, man.
We got a honey badger. Look at that, with an arm brace coming out.
Oh.
I don't know. We're working on a couple things. I mean, that's a big thing. The honey badger pistol will be out.
Okay.
Working on some silencer stuff, some bolt gun stuff. Working on some new ammo with Hornady.
Okay.
You know, just working.
Gotcha. So let's talk about when we did what we did for Noir. What was the, because a lot of people don't get to see that aspect of you were there for the entire filming. You got to saw you and Tyler became best friends.
Tyler's cool.
Everybody likes Tyler. Everybody likes Tyler.
He's very likable.
Very much so. Very much so. You and I got into a little spat about the MP5 SD in terms of I love it. You don't so much. Well, actually, you're just bored of it.
Well, I wouldn't call it a spat. I would just say I corrected you. But no, you know, I mean, I think it's a different thing. I'm 43. You're a few years younger than I am.
Yeah.
But you know, I started advanced armament at 19, so I've been around a long time. I love the MP5. I love the MP5 SD. It's just, you know, it's dated. It's a commercial, you know, interest and kind of a unicorn for a lot of people. But, you know, I'm more interested in real innovation and progressing, you know, the industry and use it as a benchmark. You know, I'm not hating on it because others like it. I compare it to the Honey Badger because that's what we designed the Honey Badger to replace, and because you know the MP5 SD is iconic, and that's the way I view the Honey Badger, and that's the course it should have as well.
Yeah, I agree with you in all those things, but you point out a very good point. You make a very good point. You know, for me, it's like this iconic gun that I grew up seeing in movies and all that other stuff. I don't know why I always use that voice when I talk about stuff from the past. But anyway, but yeah, I would agree with you in that sense. I do understand its relevance. I appreciate its relevance today, and it is an older model. It is an older gun, and I did fall in love quite hard with the Honey Badger. You know, that's actually one of the guns I get the most questions about now.
Well, you know me too. It's amazing. Like I took my daughters to the store last night to get something for makeup, and I walk in the door.
You sound thrilled about that.
Well, yeah, no, but are you Kevin Brittingham? I love the honey badger, and you know it's kind of we're talking about it today with kind of company goals for 2018, and it's kind of become like iconic already. It's its own brand. It's its own identity. It's very interesting to me. I use it. You know, I think as much in the lines of self-defense and stuff as you. I think like military, then I think like hunting. Those are, you know, the things I do. And then shooting with my children. And the honey badger fits into all of those categories. And it's very useful. It's very practical. Like I'm excited to do the arm brace gun for here in New Hampshire because we can carry loaded handguns, but not rifles in the truck.
That is interesting. That is very interesting. I think with the inclusion of the, what are you doing over there, man?
I got to go here.
But no. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the people receive the honey badger with the arm brace. I personally think it's gonna fly off the shelves, quite frankly. But
yeah.
Definitely looking forward to that. Looking forward to possibly having you on again. Love interacting with you. Love having you around. Especially, except when you're calling me Junior. There's a backstory to that they don't even know. Whatever. No, but seriously, man. I love you to death, man. I really appreciate it, and thank you for taking the time out and joining me today.
Man, good talking to you.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
it. You have a good one, man. So, what do you do after military life? Well, if you're Evan Hafer, you start a coffee business with your buddies. Take a look at Hafer's Noir interview.
When I first came across Black Rifle Coffee, I initially thought of it as kind of like a juxtaposition of two different worlds. You think the Starbucks person, the typical hipster.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't really strike me as a hipster.
No, we're the counterculture of that.
Gotcha.
You know, I was roasting coffee back in 2008, 2007, between deployments to Afghanistan, Iraq. And when I first started Black Rifle Coffee, I wanted to do guns and coffee. I wanted people to be able to get the highest end espresso that they could get in conjunction with an awesome firearm. I was roasting coffee and pulling shots from my mountain cabin in Colorado while teaching advanced tactics in carbine and pistol and deploying to Afghanistan, Iraq. And I'm like, I wasn't wearing skinny jeans. I wasn't riding a single speed with a curly Q mustache. Like I was just a dude that loved, you know, rifles, pistols, and coffee. I just wanted to marry those two passions. There's so many different elements that play in making the perfect shot. You've got the preparation itself, which in most cases, that can take years just to refine the art of your craft. So from the years of just your experience, your training, being mentored, seeking additional knowledge, reading, regardless of what you're trying to accomplish, you're still seeking perfection. So what we do takes years to accomplish that. We have the combined knowledge base of not only the subject matter experts here, but then we're also relying on the subject matter experts that plug in on environmental factors. So whether that's how much rain or how much wind, how much weather, specifically related to the key component. So you have to measure and refine everything that you do. Everything can be specified in a gram weight, in a dimension, in a time, but more importantly, it's about making the shot perfect. So hitting center mass. Here, we try to accomplish is perfection and replication of perfection every time we step behind the machine or the gun. So if I hit the trigger, or if I hit the button, what I'm after is always perfection. I'm measuring gram weight and time in conjunction with perfecting the roast. And at the end, what you have is the perfect shot. It's pretty damn good espresso.
And we're back, and joining us live is Evan. Where are you at, man? There you go. Hey, how's it going, man?
Good, how are you?
Long time no see, man. What it's like, man, I haven't seen you since we filmed that.
I know, I lost my eyesight. I had to get some glasses. A lot's changed. I know, I've put my pants on differently now. Like, the whole thing has just changed, man.
Oh, man. So what's, so
guess
other
who
than
else
you?
I have with me?
Huh?
So guess who else I have with me? Bring it on in here.
What?
What's up, brother?
Ah, look at Matt.
And then we got another guy that you know, too.
Where are we at?
We got another guy. Hold on.
There it goes. It's like the reunion of the troublemakers.
That's what work is for me every day.
Man, I feel for you, brother. So, I mean, other than you almost going blind, what are you working on? What's going on?
Oh man, I'm moving to Texas, so we're moving the company down to Texas.
Oh, really?
And yeah.
I love the way you just tossed that out like it was nothing.
Yeah, we're gonna be neighbors. Actually, that's what Richard said. He's like, hey, you know what? We need to be closer to Dallas because I really like it down there. And when it comes down to fact, it's really just about being closer to you, I think.
I didn't want to say that out loud, and I figured you hadn't picked up on that yet. So, I mean, I'm glad you did, so I don't have to keep that secret.
Yeah, he's obviously, I mean, we talk every now and again, and super happy to be moving down to Texas.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm happy that you guys are moving down here. Not because I like you, or because I like Matt, or because I like any of you guys. To be honest with you, I just want that turbo brew that I had the last time I was there.
Right.
That's all I care about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you'll be able to just walk down the street now and basically get a cup.
You could just deliver it to my house like Uber Eats.
Well, just like we talked about before in the last interview, which is, I'm typically going through your trash at least once a week, so I'll just knock on the door.
Fair enough. No, man, I mean, that's freaking awesome news. I'm glad you guys are gonna be moving here to Dallas. Mi casa, su casa, you know how it works, man. I don't think Dallas is ready for us though.
No, I don't think so. But we do. We are moving to south of Austin, actually. So we're just opening a franchise there in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And then we're going to be south of Austin. So we'll be a couple hours away yet.
Close enough. I've done trouble with much further distances, so I think we're good to go on that. But no, man, I really appreciate you taking time and speaking to us today. I really enjoyed our trip out there and having you on the show. I'm not going to lie to you, man, that coffee blew me away. I wouldn't call myself a coffee snob, but I think you ruined my palate. And it's hard for me to go back to pretty much anything that's less than that. So I hate you and love you at the same time.
That's what we try to do, and what I tell people is once you've tried Black Rifle coffee, it should actually change your palate for the rest of your life, because now you've tasted great coffee. We got you hooked, right? So
pretty much.
Because the company and that's one of the things that we pride ourselves on is having such a high quality product. It should be such a definitive shift that you're like, you know what, I can't drink anything else, or I don't want to, at least, maybe in emergency situations.
Pretty much, yeah. You just go and swing by the 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing wrong with drinking throw-up coffee.
Please don't do that.
No, man, I'm just playing with you. But no, really appreciate it, man. It's good to see you again, man. I can't wait till you guys move down closer, so we can get into all types of shenanigans. Just keep Matt away. I can't hang with Matt.
Oh man, we can't keep him away. Like, he's such an integral part of the company at this point. Like,
I just say because I feel like Matt just is going to influence me to do bad things.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Fun things, but bad things.
That is Black Rifle content. That is the Black Rifle coffee way, which is we're just going to try to over-influence people to do what they perceive might be bad, but ultimately it's just a lot of fun. So, we're gonna have a great time. Ultimately, we're gonna shoot a lot of guns. We're gonna shoot a lot of content. We're gonna do a lot of epic stuff in 2018. We've got retail stores rolling out in Texas. We're building a range down there in between San Antonio and Texas. So we're going to be doing a lot of live events and shooting events. It's just going to be so much fun, man. For 18, I just finished a merger with some guys, so we're super stoked to actually bring Black Rifle Coffee to the masses, and more importantly, to Texas.
Awesome, man. Awesome, man. Really looking forward to it. Well, appreciate you for joining us this evening.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah,
You're
man.
gonna kick me off already?
I mean, we got a show to do, man. We're already over an hour.
No, man, I can't thank you enough, man. It was awesome having you up, and I really do sincerely look forward to spending more time with you in 18 because, like, man, we had such a good time that I'm looking forward to doing that at least a few times a year and seeing everything that you bring to the table as far as, like, we love your show, love what you do.
Appreciate it, man.
So obviously we're fans, and without fanboying out too much, love you, brother, man. Thanks for having me on the show.
Actually, love you too, man. You have a good one.
You too.
All right. The reunion continues. We cannot forget Kevin Dixie. LaSort caught up with him this year. Here's part of Kevin's appearance on Noir Season 6.
What are we shooting, bud? And thanks for bringing all this out.
Oh, not a problem. So we have one that's near and dear to my heart. This is a Scar 17 Heavy. I mean, I really love these guys, and it's got the Leopold sitting on top of it. And then we have our Black Rain 223-556. Very nice gun. This is my go-to rifle. It has the Vortex Strike Eagle 1x6 on top. This is the Glock 23, compensated Exxon coated. It's got the agency arms trigger in it. And then we have here something that's near and dear to my heart. This is our Sharp Brothers and Spikes, coupled with the Advanced Armament Corp 300 Blackout.
Nice.
So this is wonderful. This paint job here, this hog was actually done in by my good friends at Midwest Cerakote here in St. Louis. So this rifle used to be all black. And I tell people, have fun with your guns, man.
So Colion, unfortunately, because of family emergency, wasn't able to be with us today. But in honor of him, we are going to do something really feely and emotional like he would want to do, because I call him the butterfly. I'm going to point at a gun, and I want you to give us one word that expresses your feeling about that particular gun. Give me a word.
Adultery.
You're cheating on somebody with that thing, right? All right. So the Black Rain.
That's commitment.
Commitment.
Yeah, it's always there for you.
And then the Glock 23, that is?
Franken-functional. I can call them Franken-functional because a lot of it came from the factory, but it's franked out a little bit, not too much, not too extreme, so it's still functional.
Okay.
So I call it Franken-functional.
All right. And the 300 Blackout that I know you say really is your baby.
Desperation. And I say that because I just want to go somewhere and hunt hogs with it. So I'm desperate.
And it shouldn't be that hard. But NRA annual meeting is in Dallas next year. You will be hog hunting.
I love it.
If we have to wait that long.
Colion, loved the last season. Congrats. Congratulations on doing something I didn't think anybody could do, which was getting LaSort to dress up like a woman outside of this condo. Anyway, for your next season, if you're looking for something to do, I'd love for you to come down here in Alabama. I'll teach you how to build your own precision rifle, something that'll shoot tiny groups and you'll have the pride of having built yourself. You could always go learn from a real gun maker, but that wouldn't be any fun. We'll probably break something here.
Man, and joining us live is Kevin Dixie. Now, this was always a little bittersweet for me watching this because I thought it was an absolute awesome segment. The only problem was I wasn't able to be there because my dad had a stroke and I had to go take care of him there. But Darren went in well, actually I was supposed to go with Darren, but Darren ended up going. And I love what you guys actually ended up doing. And I can say that is easily one of my top 3 favorite segments. So joining us live is Kevin Dixie. What's going on, man?
Man, how you been doing? How's your dad doing this morning?
Actually, he's 100. I mean, I don't know what that man eats. Well, now, because, but it's like it never happened. It's really weird. I'm nothing but grateful for that. So, but thanks for asking, man.
No, man, that's good. Family's important.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, now, adultery. That I don't know why that's one of the things that stood out to me, but I guess it makes sense considering the way I describe guns. Adultery. Explain that to me because I loved it when I heard it. I just want to hear you explain it again.
here in America, we love our AR platforms, right?
Yep.
And when you get something like the SCAR in your hand, that piston system is like, I just kind of want to step out for a minute, but I'll be back. That's kind of what it is. That's exactly what it is. Give me a minute.
No,
Have
but
fun.
huh?
That's what I'm saying. Let me step out for a second, but I'll be sure to come back on.
Yeah. No, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I thought the way you described it was perfect. Because I was wondering, what is he gonna say? And he hit him with the adultery. I was like, dang. I was like, yeah. I can job with that, man. And that 300 blackout is something nice. I got to give you that. Is that what you?
Thank you.
Yeah. That's what you got behind you?
Yeah, this is that. Yep, right here.
Yeah, she's a looker. She's a looker. So what do you got going on, man? I know you're a busy man. I know you're out saving the world. What do you got up?
Now, man, I'm trying to. We're aiming for the Truth tour, getting that event out. We can go and change lives and change perspectives and start enriching people. Helping them get jobs, helping them deal with mental illness, rebuilding families, helping the community get behind what the true roots of violence are. So we're trying to get that on the road. That's what's looking big for 2018. And of course, all the gun stuff, all the shows. Looking forward to a shot, NRA, of course. Just trying to really get out, man, and leave a positive stamp on the world. So trying to move around a lot and touch a lot of lives.
Absolutely. So very few people get to interact with Darren Lasort on a personal level. How was your experience with Darren?
Darren is a very, very. First of all, he's a good. There are some solid earth people, and he is one of them. He's a really good guy, and he is funnier than people think. Dude, he is like, you have to kind of like flick with eyes it, but he's very humorous, but very intelligent.
Yeah,
it was fun. And really, he wasn't just a guy that came up and I know that you couldn't make it as a family, but he didn't just show up to document just because. He actually was involved in everything that was going on. You could tell he cared about what was going on. Intelligent, entertaining, funny, humble, and very engaged. So there's the dude, man. I love Tyler too.
Absolutely. Yeah, love the guy. I mean, he wore a dress for the show. How can I not love him? But no, man, I really appreciate it, man. You're doing a lot of great work out there, man. And I think it's phenomenal, actually. Personally, for very selfish reasons, I want to have you back on for season 7, just so that I can get out there and experience the same thing that you and Darren got to experience. So if you're up for it, I would love to have you back on the show.
Oh man, I weekend together up in I've had nothing but, and I'll tell people way more than what people like. You're a true advocate. Yeah, anytime I get to interact with you guys, man, I'm game for it. I'll tell you, like, I can't work enough. So
Absolutely. Well, you definitely take it easy, man. You take care of my 300 blackout there that you got behind you. I'll be looking.
You know what? I got a challenge for you.
Huh?
Never said it, so I'm gonna put you on blast too, because you got to go out in the woods and Carolina and all that. We're going to Dallas this year, right? Working, all right?
Yeah.
He needs to shoot at some hogs. So you can shoot it all. As long as I get to go and we get to shoot at hogs.
That's easy. That's easy. I'll get that squared away. Trust me. That's easy. Okay. That's easy. Yeah. Just be ready to do a lot of shooting a lot of hogs.
Oh, let's have fun then.
Let's do it. But yeah, appreciate it, man. You definitely have a good one.
All right, man. You too. Be blessed.
Yes, sir. Just ahead, we'll talk with another friend of this program. He goes by the name of Buck Doyle. I think I called him Duck earlier. Here's part of his season 6 interview.
All right. You got any more ammo?
Nope.
Y'all done?
Yeah.
All right, good to go?
Yeah.
All right, let's take a CQB.
Okay, and walk through it again for me.
Buck is getting his glamour shots. He's getting B-roll, the non-glamorized version of B-roll. First time I met Buck was actually a scope carabine course.
Get that sustained rate of fire going and then speed it up.
He doesn't entertain
bullshit. He doesn't entertain hypotheticals. He merely and is solely focused on the reality of any given situation that we're dealing with.
You shot 6.5 Greendo. That's what you. Shut the up. 6.5 Greendo.
I really honestly didn't know what to expect from Buck. I knew he had an extensive military background, and you never really know what you're gonna get when you meet people in general, much less people who've been in the military. Just their perspective on the world is just a lot different. For a lot of us here, we're kind of insulated in this little bubble of our lives that we have here, and we benefit from that greatly. There's so many nuggets of information that you walk away with a completely different perspective. There's an overt simplicity to the way he teaches his class. It's really freaking refreshing. And Buck definitely has a very unique way of looking at the world. He'll say nothing before he lies. He's not a very rigid individual from the standpoint of ideals and a way to do things. It either works or it doesn't. And then if it stops working, find out another thing that does work. And I respect that. You don't really get that in a lot of people.
So your impact, and just do this. Boom, boom, and then back in. Go and do it again.
By way of Skype is the man himself, Buck Doyle. What's going on, man?
Nada, brother. How's it going?
Doing good. Man, man, I gotta say, man, I really miss being out in Utah. I was supposed to come out. When was it? Was it January?
December.
Yeah. Couldn't make it, but I still have plans to get back out there. You're gonna be doing a course here in Texas soon, right?
Right. Children actually are sold out. It'll be like first week of February, first weekend.
Gotcha. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that like your course was my first definitive kind of long-range course that I've ever taken before.
Right. It's long range, like I said.
Yeah, I mean, so to speak. For me, it's long range. Anything past 15 feet is long range for me. But it's. One thing I will note is that you definitely have a different approach compared to a lot of instructors in the way that you teach your course. There's a practicality about it that I think was incredibly refreshing. And so whenever you're putting your courses together, what is it that you want your students to get the most out of those courses?
I would say first is being practical about the training, and then what I experienced in my career. So that's what I'm trying to articulate in my training. So if I have an experience, I'm not going to teach it. But then also the lessons learned in the training, and then basically just learning from the students too. Yeah. I mean, people come from different places, and it's always enlightening to hear people give their perspective on something, and walk away, learning more.
Yep, absolutely. So, what do you have going on in the background? Because I know you're incredibly busy. You're always on to something. You don't stop, man. I'm gonna start calling you the rock of the gun world. So
I think so. Now we are definitely busy. And I say we, it's me and the wife, so without her would not be any follow-through consulting. But we are doing a lot writing. We're doing a lot with the training. We added a new course for 2018, a recce course, so it's going to be more of your still AR platform, multiple calibers, but it's going to be more of your 1-4, 1-6, 1-8 style scopes. But it's a lot more fire maneuver, so a lot of more expectations with everyone showing up, having a great understanding of how to manipulate the weapon safely, but also we're just going to push the limits physically and mentally in a lot of different aspects. Some of the things that we experience downrange is just that duress. I like talking about the duress, like showing and getting people in that realm so they can see the realities. And I think it kind of like helps them go after they leave the course. They have understanding what they can and can't do with that weapon system in the environment they may utilize it in. So with the course, new course coming out, then we also we're going into the Hollywood scene a little bit more, working with some of the actors out there with training, and also going to help out with some creative side of things with future projects. So a lot. It just it can get tiring sometimes.
Yep, most definitely. Well, I will say without a doubt, people ask me who was my favorite guest. I said it was you. You didn't pay me to say that. I will say that. But no, I really enjoyed my time learning and just kind of being out there. It really stuck with me, and will continue to do so. And I look forward to taking more courses with you.
Oh no, come out anytime. Even Tyler, he can come out too.
Gotta love Tyler, right? But no, man, appreciate it for taking the time out to join us here today on Seeing Lookback. Or not Seeing Lookback, but Noir Lookback. Look at me messing stuff up again. But, but no, I really appreciate it, man, and I hope you have a good one.
Hey, you too, man, and keep up the good work. This season, big difference in a positive way. So keep doing your thing and don't limit yourself, brother.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, man.
All right, man. Peace.
Right. Next, the good, the bad, and just the plain nasty moments from the Noir Challenge. We'll break it down with the competitors themselves. First, some of the challenge highlights we won't forget from Season 6 of Noir.
Welcome to the Season 6 Noir Shooting Challenge. Let's talk about the first course of fire. Teams will be determined based off of this first course. Now, let's meet our contestants. My name is Barrett Falbush.
A lot of people know me as Alex Zedra. My name's Nicole Arel. Thea Van Sight.
I'm Darren Lasort.
I'm Colion Noir. Once you hit me with you miss, you're done. That kind of changed the perspective on me a little bit, right?
I was treating a crossbow differently than I would a firearm.
I would never load my rifle and then run in front of it.
From there, we will team up shooters. Barrett and Nicole.
I like it.
Mr. Noir, everybody. Your teammate is Mr. Darren Lasort. We've got Alex and Thea.
I like it.
Let's talk about course of fire number 2. It involves possibly all 4 different types of weapons platforms.
I honestly believe that this entire course is not going to be determined by speed. It's going to be determined by who does not freak out.
Wait, do you have any shotgun ammo?
Shit.
The one round that I had to run all the way back here for because I missed a shot on the star.
I figured I was going to be the one up there. And when you say I shoot Texas stars all the time, I'm like, oh, heck, I got this in the bag.
So, after our first 2 courses of fire, in first place, we've got Team Bravo. Course 3 is a friendly game of horse, or in this case, gun.
Exactly. They're going to get a U, and then they're going to get an N, so they're going to be out first, and then we have to...
You hear this guy?
Yeah.
You know what's awesome about this right now? Everyone's getting tired.
Oh, I don't get tired.
Yeah, okay.
What letter is that, Barrett?
G. That's what a group looks like, Colion.
G-U-N.
Okay, I'm not positive that you hit the target.
A very loud sound.
It doesn't matter. They hit it. Let's go. This round, I promise you we're going to beat you.
Oh!
I'm missing this whole competition.
Stage 4 is a fun one, involving pistol, shotgun, and a truck tire.
So I think rolling the tire for 15 seconds and then shooting like a son of a bitch.
Slow it down. I don't even have enough mags that I'm going to put into that steel target.
I think we underestimated how hard that was going to be. Oh, yeah. Ow!
The only thing difficult that I see that's going on is your ability to get the gun back up and running. Rack it?
It won't rack.
Yes, it will. Rack it.
She told me when to pull the trigger, and I pulled it on her mark. I'll tell you when to shoot. 3, 2, 3.
I think it's the best shot of the comp so far.
Team Alpha, Team Bravo, you guys tied, so we're gonna have a tiebreaker.
Last time he rushed his shotgun, he missed. Ego.
Course of Fire 5 is inspired by the crazy gun laws of Washington, D.C. We have a D.C. zone. In that zone, you cannot possess guns, ammo, or magazines. The shooter will run either around the DZ with extra ammo for the next station, or they can run through the DZ without extra ammo.
The penalty of missing one of those plates is just too great. Running all the way around this thing, I mean, it's crazy. So.
Barrett, you flew through that sucker at a quick pace.
Well, if you just say it and just run straight there. The bag. The bag. The bag.
This next course of fire, we're a pretty cool course of fire. One shooter is going to dip their hands in the ice water. while the other shooter runs back, grabs up to 4 ammo cans.
Wow, 3 in one hand.
Iceman will dig through the ammo cans in search of a 10-round magazine, in which they will shoot a piece of steel 5 times. The person who ran the ammo cans will fire 2 crossbow shots into the crossbow target. Team Charlie, fastest time by 10 seconds. Season 6 Noir Shooting Challenge. The last course of fire is here. One shooter from the team will be shooting at distances of 3, 5, or 700 yards in 1 minute. That person will accumulate time with each hit. The time that shooter 1 accumulates will be used by shooter 2 on their carbine. Shooter 2 will then shoot chalk. Every chalk hit is worth 1 point, as in the points that you guys have accumulated over the last 3 days.
Okay, this course is interesting because it's about precision.
Should have free-handed it, honestly.
But against that wood with that magazine and your elbows, there's just a little too much movement going on, for sure.
Oh, shit.
We will tally on the total number of points you get from the chalk to your scores. So there's only a 3-point gap at best right there.
Wow.
Anyone's game.
Wow, okay. Fun times, fun times.
Nice.
Good job.
Nice.
Good job.
You guys did great.
Mr. Noir would like to congratulate you, your crew, and everyone else that was involved in Season 6. It was an awesome season. I enjoyed watching it very much. Like the Noir Challenge, that was awesome. All your content, your guests this season were awesome. One thing I would like to see next season would be maybe like you had in Season 3, have some of your viewers get involved, maybe be guests or on Noir Challenge or something like that. That would be pretty awesome to see. Anyways, keep it up. Hope to see you for many, many more seasons.
All right. Oh, I got this guy back on.
And I'm not fumbling stuff this time.
No, he's not. But we also have 2 other individuals joining us. We have Barrett and we have Thea.
Oh, damn.
What's going on, guys? Damn, where are you, Thea?
I'm in an airport right now, actually. And I'm kind of getting sketched out because my plane should be boarding soon and there's like no one here.
Oh.
So I'm like, am I at the wrong gate or something?
Yeah, you might want to check those notifications on the phone.
Ooh, I don't get them on my phone. I'm not that cool.
Hey, just tell them you're on.
I'm not all high speed.
Just tell them you're on Noir. Yeah, you did. Yeah, what is you have this thing with this hatred of phones for some reason.
It's not a hatred for phones. You're just on yours too much.
I'm not, what do you,
like killing your eyeballs.
I agree with Thea on this one, 100%.
You don't know.
Totally. Darren.
Look at Barrett over there looking smug as shit. Barrett, jump in this conversation.
Hey, for the first time, he's actually quiet. This is not a competition, apparently.
I will say, by far, the most embarrassing moment of this entire season is when Barrett psyched me out and I missed those 2 shots. The 2 shots that I could have literally hit with my eyes closed. And I missed them. What is that?
You know what? He definitely worked on the mind games. I mean, Barrett definitely. I mean, if you have mental problems, you definitely don't want Barrett competing against you. Now, he's a great teammate, so I think he calms and soothes nerves, but he can definitely rile them up if you're competing against him.
Yeah. So I got to ask you too, what was the most challenging aspect of the competition? Really?
Ladies first.
I'm going to say like all of it because I was just so nervous the whole time because I had never done anything like this. I was just like constantly freaking out. Like maybe like on the surface I looked calm, but like the whole time I was just like losing it. And I was just like so worried. I was just like, I just don't want to look stupid. Like especially that first like course of fire we did where we couldn't miss. I was like so scared. I was like, if I miss, I'm going to be so embarrassed. I'm just going to like go back home to Oregon.
Well, I mean, you did have to go back home to Oregon at some point.
Either way.
I did at some point, but I would have went home early.
No, I feel like you did a phenomenal job. Oh,
thank you.
You really bring back a lot of like I don't know why you remind me of when I first started shooting. And just kind of watching you and then following you on Instagram and just seeing just the level of enthusiasm and dedication you have for shooting, I freaking love it. I feed off the energy quietly. So I'm like a secret watcher.
You're like a secret stalker follower.
I said a secret watcher. Don't try to exacerbate the statement to make it sound worse.
Hey, it's easy to do when you're on Instagram rocking it like you are, but no, I mean, it was never obvious that you were nervous in the competition. That you were only have shot for a couple of years is amazing to me. You rocked it. I mean, and I was totally impressed, and it's surprising that you were nervous. So you're very cool under pressure, at least externally.
Well, that makes me feel good.
He's very good.
Absolutely. So what about you, Barrett? What was the most challenging aspect of the competition for you?
You know, when Dia was sitting there answering, I'm sitting there trying to go through in my head what was the most challenging. And I think it was just being on a team, to be honest. I'm more of a individual. And, I think that was the most challenging thing. So when I was Nicole's teammate, my question was, like, how do I help you be the best that you can be? And how do we feed off of each other? How do I encourage you? Things like that. And I think that was the most challenging, learning just to communicate to just a different person, entirely. So,
I mean, honestly, team, no team. I think anybody who watches that competition would not disagree with the fact that you demonstrated you're probably the best shooter out there by miles.
Hey, and so by the way, Colion did talk about how fast you are as a shooter. I have to say, I'm not on social media. Colion constantly harasses me about that. But I've been following you since, and now I'm in agreement, at least on this one thing in life with Colion, is you are one fast shooter.
Well, I don't just try to be fast. I try to be fast and accurate.
Well, anybody can pull the trigger fast like Colion does oftentimes.
Who needs
but I'm not going to say
accuracy?
somebody's a fast shooter unless they're also hitting what you're doing. So
Who needs accuracy?
you're good, man. You're really good.
I just put the camera on me.
I appreciate the compliments. Thank you so much.
I just put the camera on me and just shoot real fast. I don't have to hit anything.
Yeah, I always tell Colion to slow down. I would not have to tell Barrett to slow down. And one of the course where we rolled the tire, I mean, he was literally painting the target with the lead from the bullet. I mean, that was one of the sickest moments in the competition.
I mean,
from my perspective.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I hated that stupid tire, and then it was like the sounds were reverberating from the tire, from the gunshots, and all that other nonsense. Yeah, there's so many little like little minor things that were happening that you didn't really translate.
Right.
On the actual show.
Carrying the ammunition cans. Who would have thought we were going to be doing that? Thank you, TP. That's Tyler again and his creativity.
Pretty much.
I didn't have to carry those cans. You did.
Yeah, I did, and barely. Very much barely. But no, I will say, what was interesting was I would go back and forth between the laser, using laser, not using the laser.
Right.
Just depending on the course that we were doing. And then also, I mean, you killed it with the bolt action. And that's just because you're so old, and that's such an old platform.
The old Mossberg varmint, baby, that's right.
Yeah,
and we've actually used it out there before. So
I mean, just the fact that it was a bolt action, because I know you're still trying to conceptually wrap your mind around semi-automatic.
Yeah,
so,
I mean that was what in one of your videos, it was like 1936 is when those things got developed or something. Yeah, but no, the bolt action is my bread and butter. That's why you let me shoot it on that last stage to give you some time.
And it's just because I knew you would do a much better job at it than I did.
I
think you killed it in that regard.
Thanks.
So
I appreciate that, buddy.
I think you might. You sure you're good on this flight?
I'm actually not sure, and I'm like freaking out a little bit more now.
Okay. Look, the last thing I need.
Supposed to leave in like 15 minutes or something.
The last thing I need is for you to blame me because you missed your flight. Get off of my tour. Get off the tour.
Okay, fine. I see how it is. You don't want me here.
No. We love you, Theo. We love you,
we're gonna miss you.
All right,
and then there's just my face that's just right
there. Hey, Barrett, your pretty face fits better between us anyway.
That's just, nobody wants to see us.
No, man. No, I really do appreciate you coming on the show and participating in the challenge. It means a lot, especially with you here. I mean, it takes certain individuals to get out in front of a camera and put their skills on display.
Yep.
A lot of people talk, don't walk the walk, don't actually get out there and do that. So I appreciate everybody who took part of the challenge, even the people who weren't able to be on the show today. And I really appreciate it. It meant a lot to me.
Right. Well, I know it was fun for me, even though the old man had some heat stroke going on. I was about the only one. Hey, I didn't need an excuse. I think I did okay. I represented my old age.
I think you were the most consistently well-rounded shooter there. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, well, that's nice. I don't. That's very kind of you. Whether I believe that compliment, you know what? I see you shoot, and I guess you don't compete, which is wild to me. And I mean, we had that conversation, but you are without a doubt. And you know, I've shot around Gary Mikulik. I mean, he's superhuman. I don't even know how that works, but you're shooting as fast and accurately as anyone out there these days. And you know, it was cool. I know you don't do the team approach very often. We appreciate that you jumped on with that. You know, in the competition, there's so much other stuff going on. Obviously, like shooting the Raven crossbow. We gun people don't often do that. It was super cool. I mean, and I actually hunt with crossbows, and there is no better crossbow out there. It's not a surprise. Just reading a magazine the other day, they did a big review. Raven's the best across the board. It's just accurate. It's light, small. I've hunted with it since the competition, you know. And then his review of the crossbow, which was hilarious, related to Walking Dead.
I hunted zombies.
So, I mean, we did a lot of stuff that just doesn't translate into your everyday shooting capabilities, carrying ammo cans, putting your hands in ice, doing a lot of running.
I do that stuff all the time.
The ice, or the hands in the ice bucket.
Yeah,
that was.
I don't know
that
why,
scared me more.
I don't know why anybody thought I was gonna actually put my hands in the ice bucket. That just was that was just comical to me. They're like, so which one? The fact that we even had a conversation about it was like, that's not happening.
Right. Well, and I wanted to ask Barrett one thing, because I mean, I think he and I differed a little bit, and it was funny because you mentioned it actually during the competition when he killed it shooting through the tire. Did not use the laser because you just can't shooting that fast. You kind of, after a reload, you started using the laser and got your hits. I, under those light conditions, had to use the LaserMax because I just couldn't see. I mean, as I'm getting older, I realized, and Barrett, this is going to include you one of these days, even though you don't have to use lasers now, at some point, I mean, I just couldn't see my front sight in those lighting conditions. And so I did use the laser, and it worked well for me.
Just use a red dot.
But you didn't use it, did you?
No. I mean, it's just like, it was just a foreign concept to me. So throwing a laser on a pistol was just like, I just couldn't see the practicality for my foundation of shooting, just use the front sight. And in that lighting condition, still, I shoot in that lighting condition all the time. So it wasn't anything that was foreign to me, so to speak. What was foreign was now that I had this new thing that's in the, on the target, that's what made it difficult for me, I think.
Right. Well, it's for the old guys among us and people who shoot a little slower, it was an advantage. So I loved having that component. But you wouldn't have been able to see it anyway as fast as you were shooting that thing. I guess you rolled it all the way up to 7 yards, but I would not have been able to shoot half that fast. And this sight's just, the laser's just not.
I think this video playing back is making me look a lot better than what I actually am. I think that it's all edited and sped up. That's mine.
How the hell do you think I look the way I look on my show? It's all editing.
I know,
I don't
right?
shoot at Target.
Which is
right.
Thea just texted me and she says she's in the wrong terminal.
Are you serious?
That's hilarious. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thea's coming out.
Just text
Thea's
them.
coming out in March.
Just text them and
Thea's coming out in March. And she's gonna do some training with us. Her and Alex. It's gonna be lots of fun. So
awesome.
Oh,
pretty
boy.
dope. Pretty dope. Well, appreciate you two for coming on the show.
Yeah. Hopefully, did she miss her flight?
I don't know.
Oh, I hope not.
She'll be
I'd like to say something.
I'd
like to say thanks to Tyler Peterson for putting together a really good challenge, for not being somebody who's ever shot a handgun or shot a gun. To put that together and to conceptualize that, I thought it was really good. I don't think I'd be able to do anything like that. So
yeah,
I thought it was pretty good.
No, absolutely.
Hats off to him.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, and I appreciate that. And would
he was here earlier.
I don't
know where he went though.
And I would support those sentiments 100%. And I've had a number of people come up to me who say, and it was true of the other challenges, but it seems like more people are saying it, that it was so interesting to them that they actually are compelled to want to shoot. And these are people who don't currently shoot. So cool. Awesome. I think he and his imagination made it very interesting for people and made them realize that, hey,
for sure,
can do this.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely.
And you all were tough competitors too, so.
Wait, what? What happened? What did he say?
I said you were tough competitors.
Tough competitors. I appreciate that.
I mean, I know.
If we went mano a mano, yeah, we might have to do that next year, and just to show that, yeah, I need a teammate for sure to support me as a crutch, even you.
Oh, get out of here. With that being said, I'm going to kick these two dudes off my show. No, I'm just but no, I do have people in my ear telling me to move it on.
All right.
But no, I really appreciate it, man. Thanks for staying on with us, Barrett. Really appreciate it. Thanks for
anytime, anything for you.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate it. And
good to see you, bud.
Thanks for.
Yeah, you do.
Well, you gonna stick around?
Oh, I don't know.
All right,
I mean, I will. You know I will.
Well, I'm gonna toss this next segment. If you're here,
You should have mine. He's much better looking than you are.
Huh?
He says,
no, I didn't hear what you said.
I said, you should keep him on. He's much better looking than you are.
Sometimes. It depends on the lighting.
Well,
no.
Hey, guys, thanks so much. God bless you all.
Absolutely.
See you,
Take care, bro. All right. This season Noir Challenge was intense. One man watched every second on the field. Here's a look back at NRA Carry Guard instructor Jeff Houston's contribution to the competition.
You will fire 6 rounds.
If you've been watching the Noir Team Challenge this season, then you're familiar with this next guy. He's lead instructor for NRA Carry Guard and previously served as a Green Beret with the U.S. Army Special Forces.
See how I can pull the slide back?
He's trained foreign military, police units, and U.S. Special Forces units, as well as everyday folks like you and me.
Welcome to the Season 6 Noir Shooting Challenge. I'm Jeff Houston, lead instructor of NRA Carry Guard training. The Season 6 Shooting Challenge is based off the success of the Season 5 Noir Team Challenge. However, this year, there's a big change. The shooters will not know the course of fire until moments before they compete. Each course, the shooters will be awarded points based off their performance. At the end of the competition, the team with the most points wins. Barrett, Nicole, Team Alpha. Let's talk about course of fire number 2. This is a great course of fire. It involves some strategy, some teamwork, and possibly all 4 different types of weapons platforms. Course 3 is a friendly game of horse, or in this case, gun. Each team will start shooting the JM Pro on a clay with a slug from 7 yards. Stage 4 is a fun one, involving pistol, shotgun, and a truck tire.
Nice.
Shooters, the night has come. Course of Fire 5 is inspired by the crazy gun laws of Washington, D.C., where the average citizen cannot possess guns, ammo, or magazines. Gentlemen, it's getting late.
Yeah.
It's beyond late, actually. It's getting early.
It's getting early the next day, yeah.
The discomfort has set in on a couple levels, and this next course of fire, we're going to find more discomfort.
Of course.
Beautiful.
Of course.
Can't wait.
This is a pretty cool course of fire. One shooter is going to dip their hands in the ice water. Go! The last course of fire is here. Let's talk about this last course of fire. I have here in my hands a Mossberg MVP Pro Varmint bolt action 308. We'll be shooting the Federal Premium 175 grain Sierra Match King gold medal match bullet. Guys, that was incredible. It's been a great pleasure working with you all for 3 days. This saddle bit is fine. I kind of wish I was on your end of it.
No doubt. Well, I've seen you shoot.
Yep.
I've seen you shoot, so stay over there.
Yeah, we don't want to run up against you.
All right, guys, that was awesome.
Thanks,
Killing
guys.
it.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Fun times.
Nice.
Good job.
So that was Jeff Houston. I'm very fond of Jeff Houston. Actually, he was my carry guard instructor when I took the carry guard course. For whatever reason, he reminds me, what's that one guy's name from The Punisher? I don't know, every time I say it, I can't remember his name. What is his name? Any of y'all know? I know y'all all watch The Punisher here. Don't act like y'all didn't watch The Punisher now. All right. Either way, one thing about Jeff, I call Jeff a sleeper because he's actually a really phenomenal shooter. And he does a great job as far as instructing is concerned. He did mention about joining the shooting competition. I was like, yeah, that's not happening. Because, it just wouldn't be fair. And then we actually have Jeff coming to us live. What's going on, Jeff?
What's up, brother?
No, I can't hear Jeff.
Uh-oh, you can't hear me.
Okay. All right, can you hear me, Jeff?
We're trying. Can you hear me now, brother?
Ah, there you go. There you go.
All right.
What's going on, man?
Hey, hanging out.
Doing pretty
Good to
good.
be here.
I was telling the people how you remind me of the specific character from The Punisher, but I can't remember the guy's name, so me even bringing it up doesn't matter because I can't remember his name. But nonetheless, you kind of were like the referee, master of ceremony, you name it, for the competition. What was one of the moments that really stuck out to you the most during the noir competition? Damn, that bad?
There was a lot of fun. We had a
Gotcha.
fire behind the scenes that no one knows about. That was cool. No, one of the funnest things for me was just seeing the stress that people went through. You know,
Gotcha.
we put people under a lot of pressure. You know, the pressure of the timer, the pressure of competing, and seeing people, I think, falter a little bit was really fun for me.
Yeah, you mean kind of like how I missed those 2 shots at like damn near 5-10 yards away?
I cringed, man. I expect more from you. You know this.
Dude, I to this day, I still relive that moment. Like, it was just like, it was kind of surreal in many ways, just because I was like, I really missed that. Like, really missed it. I mean, I was hitting slugs with a shotgun at 50 yards away, and then I go, and then this little, I don't know, man. It just drove me mad. What did you find the most challenging about the competition?
Man, the challenge of, I think, the overall, just each course of fire being so different and each course of fire being somewhat complex, especially as we got towards the end of the competition.
Gotcha.
I wanted to do the best job that I could do explaining everything the same way to every team, because what people may not remember is that the teams didn't know the courses of fire until right before they did them.
Yep.
And it was integral that very important that I explained it the same way to every team so that no one had an unfair advantage. So hopefully I've accomplished in that, I think so.
Absolutely. I actually have a question here for you. I have a couple questions here for you, actually. I'm going to start off with one. How do you think you would have done in the challenge?
I think I would have smoked everybody.
I expect nothing.
No,
I expected nothing.
I'm more
less.
humble than that. I think I would have had a blast. It looked really fun. I was super jealous that I wasn't out there shooting. I would have liked to run at it. You know, there's a lot of good shooters there. You know, I think I would have been right in there with you, buddy.
Absolutely, man. All right, let's see. All right, next question from a viewer. What course did you want to shoot, if you could?
Oh man, the tire push was interesting. I think I would have liked that because I like to flip and roll tires for workouts, so that could have been fun. But I think I really would have liked to shoot the bolt action one.
Yeah.
But I would have wanted to shoot both sides of it.
Gotcha. All right, and the next one isn't so much a question as it is a statement. I think I'll just show this one. Apparently the ladies love Jeff.
Not a bad thing.
Oh, what? Noir Bumble? No? Anyone? No?
Hey.
Noir Tinder?
I'm single.
No?
Bring it on.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a savage. But no, Jeff, I mean, I think you did a phenomenal job, especially in terms of, like you said, one of the challenges was making sure that you explain each course the exact same way to each of the contestants. I think you did a phenomenal job of that. I think you did a phenomenal job. Like, I mean, you had like 9 hats on. You were the referee, the range master, or you name it. I think you killed it. Quite frankly, I'm glad you weren't part of the competition because I think it may have ended a little bit differently. But
well, thanks, man. Those
Absolutely.
are great compliments. I appreciate it. I had a blast. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
You know, I always love working with you, working with Darren. I mean, working with everybody. Everybody there was great. Lots of great competitors, and we had a blast. And everybody was safe.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, man.
See you soon, bud.
Yes, sir. So, at this time, we would like to acknowledge our sponsors for Season 6. These sponsors are responsible for Noir Happening: Mossberg, Raven Crossbow, Federal Premium, LaserMax. And my favorite segment is coming up. First, some more unforgettable stories from Season 6. Reality's an intrusive son of a bitch. You can run from it. You can hide from it. You can even deny its existence and create a whole new reality. But in the end, reality always makes an appearance, whether you want it to or not. As bleak as reality may seem, you don't have to be completely unprepared for it. You can accept reality and do your best to prepare for it when it turns ugly. Or you can roll around in the plush comfort of conscious ignorance. That is until you experience the darker side of reality and realize that your ignorance, though comforting, has left you completely unprepared. Red pill or blue pill? Which one will you take? When it comes to personal safety, the red pill is the gun. The blue pill is the belief that gun control and the government can keep you safe from the randomness of reality, even though in the back of your mind, you know this isn't true. So what will it be? Red pill or blue pill? Understand that when you take the red pill, there's no going back. You may get the gun back, but you can't unsee reality. You can only choose to deliberately ignore it. Let's do this. There we go. I don't really understand my fascination with the Gen 1 Glock simply because it's a gun that I wasn't even aware of until later on in my firearm journey. I do remember hearing some of the talking points about the gun when it first came out, about it being completely plastic, how it can get through metal detectors, and it was just like the new space age gun. And the funny thing is now I look at this gun and this gun looks old as hell to me. But the gun is definitely something that, well, when I see it, it means a lot. I'm a sucker for nostalgia. The Gen 1 definitely gives me the nostalgia feels whenever I see one. I actually have never actually seen a Gen 1 in person. This is the first time, and now I'm touching it. I don't think I'm supposed to touch it, but I'm touching it. Wonder what the trigger's like. I want to shoot it now, too. So clearly I still do the same thing on this Generation 1 that I do on all the other generations of Glocks. I ride the slide lock, and thus doesn't allow the gun to lock back whenever I hit the last round. It's really easy to shoot. I'd kill for some finger grooves right now. I'd kill for some RTF texturing right now. But besides that, everything else is pretty much dead on.
Hey, Colion, it's James Yeager, Type of Response. Finishing another season, that's wonderful. You guys are doing great stuff here. Next season, I'd like you to take a look into how YouTube is censoring gun guys. My channel has been completely banned off YouTube, and other guys are getting channel strikes, and I'd be curious to see what you can find out about what's really going on with Google and censoring of the gun guys. And since I've got a lot of free time now, if you're looking for a better co-host than LaSort, look me up.
Huh? I talked about the AK stuff. Hey guys. We're always working, sorry. All right, so pretty much we're towards the back end of the show today.
Yeah, this I think went a little bit longer than what we expected.
Probably.
But
yeah,
this was gold.
I mean, I had a blast. I love having everybody back on and kind of going down memory lane and talking to them about, you know, their favorite moments on the show, things they liked, things they didn't like, you know, all that jazz.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm really looking forward to season 7 already.
Yeah, I mean what the show has done since season 1, as each season the show evolves and it changes a lot. I mean, you go back and look at season 1 versus where we're at now. It's leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
You know, I would say better, not better, but different.
There's a refinement.
Yeah.
I think there's a refinement because, you know, like you said, each season will like distinctively different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think what it was us trying to figure out the voice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think season 6. I'm not going to say we figured out our voice.
Yeah.
But I think it's the most comprehensive of that voice that we've done to date.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I would agree. And, you know, looking in, kind of seeing the fans' response to kind of this season, you know, has been good.
Hey, look, it's Amy.
But, the thing about, you know, kind of what we do here is, like, it's not always good. Like, we don't know what season 7 is going to be.
Exactly.
And actually, we saw Jaeger on there, and it's kind of, I want to do something with him.
You and me both.
Let's make that happen.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
You know,
what else do you want to, for season 7? What else
Yeah.
would you like to? And look, Tyler, no, I'm not jumping out of a damn plane. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, what would you like to see happen on season 7 of Noir?
I would like to see more fan interaction with the show.
Okay.
And ways of figuring out a way to kind of have the fans come on the show. Now we did, you know, back I think it was season 3, we had that town hall segment where we had, you know, some people in the Dallas area come, and you guys had that kind of, you know, the conversation. That was cool. I think I would like to see kind of taking that and kind of
expanding on
that. Yeah.
Okay. You know what I would like to see? Well, I want to do again.
What?
I miss going back and forth with Chamish.
Yeah, you know,
and it doesn't necessarily need to be her, but you know,
Yeah.
I like that. I love that component of kind of flexing the 2A intellectual muscles, so to speak.
Absolutely, and I think it for the people that watch the show and for the 2A community, I think it's, you know, what that does, it gives them, you know, it's seeing you kind of in those debates gives them kind of a different perspective on it, and it helps them kind of go out,
kind of tell their own voice when they're dealing with other people in their real life.
And that, I think that's been one of the great things about the series as a whole was that segment, and yeah, I think we should, you know, that's something we could explore. Bring that back.
Absolutely.
We just got to find the anti-gunners that will come on the show.
That's another thing that people don't realize. Like, I have to give credit to both of them for coming on and doing that, because we had a hell of a time just trying to find people who were willing to get up there and contest my stance on firearms.
Yeah.
Like it's legitimately hard. Like, people just don't want to do it when it comes time to turning the cameras on. So anybody who actually, you know, takes the step to actually do it, I applaud them. You know, it's not an easy thing, especially when you have two contesting viewpoints on a very volatile topic, especially a topic like firearms. But hopefully we can get the ball rolling and figure out some people who would be willing to come on.
And I think, I don't know, it might be a little bit biased, but since we've done it before, and we could show that segment, the anti-gun roundtable, to potential people that would, you know, might come on the show and show that, like, you know, it's not about bashing. It's very fair, and we are really trying to have an open conversation about it. So, like, let's.
This is true. I didn't realize that. Like, just a great point. I see that now as almost an asset. Like, just having that footage as an asset, because a lot of people's concerns were like, I don't know what you're gonna do with this footage. I don't know how you're gonna make it look. Yeah, absolutely. Now, that being said, I'm gonna talk about some things. We'll talk about one segment that was my favorite, my absolute favorite segment.
What was that favorite? What was that segment?
The most intimidating guns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That by far was my favorite segment, largely because it appeased every aspect of my narcissism. There's something about that. The shots were beautiful. I'm more in love with the cinematography more than anything.
Yeah.
But then also, for those that don't know, like, I did that entire thing off the cuff. Like, we knew the guns going in.
The ranting part?
The stand up. Yeah. I knew the guns going in, and then it was kind of like, here, boy, talk, right?
And I'd say it's probably one of your best, like, kind of, like,
we go back and forth about what, like, Tyler sometimes thinks I'm better on script, sometimes he thinks I'm better off script. I personally don't know. I just go back and forth. And
well, so that was off script, and if you look at that segment versus any other kind of segment, that is one of your strongest deliveries.
Fair enough. I personally think it's kind of contingent on the segment. like what it is that we're shooting, the style that we're shooting, so forth and so on. But I do.
It definitely helps that in that segment we had some of the best looking, like you said, the cinematography.
Which is true. Yeah, I think visually that was some of the best stuff you guys have ever shot.
And when you say you guys, that's mostly our lead DP, which is Mr. Stevens.
Yeah, who refused to come on camera because he just wants to remain secret. He thinks he's Batman.
There's the main crew is about 4 of us, and the other 3 did not want to come on the show. But it's definitely a very team effort to put the show on, and those guys are
without the team, without you guys, and just the level of talent is just, it's mind-numbing. It really is.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you guys do a phenomenal job. Noir would be nowhere near where it is without you guys.
Yep.
So I really thank you. So with that being said, take a look at the 5 most intimidating guns.
For a lot of people, guns inherently are intimidating. However, what I want to do today is talk about the more subjective components of intimidation when it comes to a firearm. Not necessarily scary, but something that leaves a lasting impression that's hard to forget. So what I've done is compiled my top 5 most intimidating guns. And I'm going to start with the M16. The M16 is the proverbial American intimidating rifle. And the reason that is because of the news, the media, and anti-gunners.
It's a weapon of war.
This is a weapon of mass slaughter. No one needs an assault rifle to go out and shoot a deer.
And yes, I'm going to blame all of those people because they've done such a wonderful job of making the M16 look like the mass weapon of destruction of the decade. And it's not. But nonetheless, they are intimidated by it, especially new shooters. When you take new shooters out for the very first time and you put an M16 or an AR-15 in their hands, they're intimidated because that's the way they've been colored in the media or by anti-gunners. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Number 4 in my top 5 most intimidating guns is gonna have to be the AK-47. By and large, it is also just as ubiquitous as the M16. The only difference is with the AK-47, people usually correlate them with bad guys. You're used to seeing all of these movies about terrorism and seeing the terrorists wield these AK-47s. Hell, when you watch the nightly news and you see images of ISIS, they're always wielding AK-47s. So the AK-47 has become the perpetual bad guy gun and is iconic in that sense. So whenever most people see an AK-47, they're instantly intimidated because it's so recognizable and so distinguishable between all of the other guns that are out there, especially compared to the M16, which could almost look docile compared to the AK-47, even though they essentially do the same thing. So number 4, definitely gonna have to be the AK-47. The Thompson submachine gun. The Thompson submachine gun is more intimidating to people, not because it's just an inherently intimidating gun. For Christ's sakes, it shoots a 45. The Thompson submachine gun is so intimidating to a lot of people because it harkens back to the days of the old school gangsters. This image that has been glorified in our media, in our movies, of the gangsters walking down the streets, just spraying bullets everywhere, killing innocent civilians. Especially when you talk about a Thompson submachine gun that has a drum. This particular Thompson doesn't. It has a stick magazine. And I always have to wonder, would it be as intimidating with just a stick magazine? It's yet to be seen. But for the most part, the iconic Thompson submachine gun is intimidating to a lot of people because of what it used to represent back in the day. Number 2 on my list of most intimidating guns is the M60. The M60 is on this list for more personal reasons than anything else. And a lot of those reasons stemming from the fact that I love the movie Rambo. And I remember that iconic image of Rambo wielding an M60 with the belt-fed ammo wrapped around his arm, taking out all of the bad guys. The image was badass and was also probably incredibly intimidating to people who didn't know what they were looking at. So I definitely have to go with the M16 for nothing more than that. Now sure, the gun does have its own intimidating presence, but when you put that image and combine it with Rambo, there's a reason it's number 2. The Ma Deuce is intimidating for one reason and one reason only, the way it looks. Don't get me wrong, there are guns bigger than the Ma Deuce, much bigger, but there's just something about the Ma Deuce's pure presence that just makes it seem larger than life. The odd thing is, shooting it is really not that intimidating, but the anticipation of shooting it, it's an intimidating gun, just sheerly based off of its looks. It is very intimidating because it is a very impactful presence when you see it. And there is no denying that. Now, like I said before, the idea of intimidation can include being scary, but not always the case. Intimidation is just something that is long-lasting. It leaves an imprint on your mind when you see it or when you're engaged with it. And I'm pretty sure there are people who completely disagree with this list. And if you do, I would love nothing more than for you to compile your own list and let me know what you think the top 5 most intimidating guns are.
And we're back. And we're also getting ready to leave. I want to thank Tyler and all the people involved in making season 6 of Noir such a success. We've come to the end of Noir. Look Back Live. I'm Colion Noir, and thanks for joining us.